recording beetles and other invertebrates at Sherwood Forest every year since 2008, so I've accumulated quite a few records and quite a bit of knowledge. And there's one species of beetle that you used to find fairly regularly, although it was always in the larval form, and I've realised today that I haven't seen it for a number of years. Only seen the adult once, and that's because we took a larva home and reared it through to adulthood. But in all honesty, the beetle is not the most spectacular invertebrate within the Sherwood Forest area. But the larva is quite a little thing. It has an interesting and quite unique lifestyle. That lifestyle is under bark, loose bark like this. But loose bark which is inhabited by a variety of Clubiona or Amaurobius spiders. Most often the larva of the cobweb beetle is found in the cobwebs of Amaurobius. And this is the kind of habitat. There isn't one here, which is the reason why I'm making this video, because at one time we used to find it quite regular. And the molts, even if the beetle isn't present, if it has been present, the molts of cobweb beetle will still be present in the web. Scientific name is Cetaceous cera, and it's a scavenger, scavenging on the leftover meals of Amaurobius spiders. But this is the kind of situation that we used to find it in regularly. While I'm here, I'm having a look for false scorpions, and then we put that back, wedge it in. No one's any the wider. Now, Cetaceous cera is quite an uncommon beetle. It's certainly notable here in Sherwood Forest, and especially so in the last few years. I have found it at Crookford, which is to the east of sort of Clumber, and that was in a pine plantation under bark there, and that was quite an exceptional and unusual record, because in Nottinghamshire, cobweb beetle Cetaceous cera is largely confined to the Sherwood Forest area, and I'll try and put a map in and show its Nottinghamshire range. So it's not a common species to find, but one to look out for if, like me, you're quite fond of pulling bark off. But it's usually bark that's loose. Tight fitting bark is no good. You want bark that's loose enough for Amaurobius or Clubiona spiders to be found underneath, and it's usually Amaurobius spiders, because Amaurobius spiders, they make their webs and actually live 365 days a year under the bark. Clubiona spiders are a lot more sort of transient, but they will form quite dense silken cocoons almost to overwinter in, and they'll overwinter in groups, often under bark. So if you do take any bark up, like I just have done, those sort of round cocoon-like cells are those of Clubiona spiders. So you're looking for Amaurobius. It'll either be Amaurobius fenestralis or Amaurobius similis. I think it's fenestralis which is the predominant species here in Sherwood Forest. And loose bark with any Amaurobius though underneath is always worth looking in the webs for the larva of the cobweb beetle. And they overwinter as a larva, if I remember right, so it is the kind of thing that you can go out and find this time of year. And then that larva develops on the scraps left over by the Amaurobius spider, and the hairs on the larva obviously give it protection from being bitten by the spider. And then once it's pupated, quite interesting, the pupation period actually, or the pupation process should I say, because the larva doesn't get rid of entirely of the larval skin but it splits along the back, and you can see the pupa underneath. That pupa becomes black and then eventually hatches. And the beetle that we had hatch, that didn't do a great deal for 2 or 3 days. It just sort of just about came out of the pupal case and then just sat there until released it into the wild at the point of capture. But it's an interesting species, and say I've been turning up a lot of bark the last few days or so, in the last few weeks, and realised that I haven't seen it for a number of years, which is a shame because it's a nice little larva to find, the one that you may well find if you're in your local woodland, provided you're going to take some bark off the trees.